Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
I hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. I also hear the falling of silver. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Sounds like Sonic coins hitting the floor. Man, what a crazy day. What a crazy week. What a crazy week in the markets. Courtney just said it in the chat. This week felt like a month. And what a way to end it. I mean, I don't know what to really say. So we can just get right into it. Welcome to At the Buzz.
Get into
it. Yeah, that is what to say. Welcome to At the Buzz, everyone. Our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day, for the week, because it is a Friday. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before. We may talk about some markets that maybe you shouldn't have traded today, and why that might be. But our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of our opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay. I've been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some of my experience, some knowledge, and help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Thank you for joining us each and every day that you do, especially on a Friday after a week that felt like a month. It legitimately did. There was so much that went on this week. You know, we made all-time highs and saw all-time sell-offs in the same week, in the same day. Did we make an all-time high?
In the same 2 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. I mean, the silver market, a bear market territory traditionally looked at with stocks is 20%. Silver saw a 27% down day today. Absolutely insane. We will take a look at, also let us know how your week went. Were you up on the week, down on the week, anything that you learned from the week? We did have some numbers out this morning. PPI came in at 3%. Forecast was 2.8. Core PPI came in at 3.3%. Forecast was 2.9%. We also did have Chicago PMI come in at 54. Forecast was 43.7. The president speaking right now, he says, my tariffs have brought America back. So right now, although we cannot trade at Topstep accounts, your trades need to be closed by 4:10 Eastern time, 3:10 Central. Markets have another 40 or so minutes to go. We could still see some volatility. So keep your eye out on the markets just so we're aware, especially with the president speaking after the close. And speaking about tariffs, we had the new nominee for the Fed chair, our Warsh. Looks like that is the official nominee this week, given by the president this morning. Am I missing something, Coach Paul? There was a lot, man. There's a lot going on.
I can't keep up with it. Chaos is what I can say is the headline. Yeah, Kevin Warsh nominated. We'll see. There'll be a fight.
Yeah.
Although much to me, a much more professional pick.
Yeah.
He is a banker. Would he come from BlackRock? So that
Good pick. Good pick in your opinion.
yeah, decent pick. We'll see.
We also had go ahead. Yeah, finish that.
Just to me, it's much better than Mirren.
Gotcha.
But that's my opinion. But I think that it's been an opinion of in the financial community.
I think Jack, who's probably my go-to source for all things Fed, agreed as well. We also had our first ever, shout out to Mo in the chat, first ever triple three-peat reversal challenge winner. Shout out to you, Mo. I don't know how you did it. It's tough to win once. I've done it. I think I've done it once, but 3 times in a row. That's not luck. That's skill. All right, but let's get into the quote board. We have 36 different markets we can trade with TopStep accounts, and today, to the downside, we had
the all-time winner.
The all-time winners. Maybe the biggest percentage mover we've ever talked about on the quote board during At the Buzzer. 100%, right?
It's the biggest. Silver is the largest or the biggest ever daily percentage decline on record.
In any futures or just silver?
At least silver.
In silver, for sure. Yeah.
And that says something because 1983, there were limits.
Yep.
So yeah, historical
for sure. But to the downside, third place, can't forget about gold, down 8.98%.
Only 8%.
Platinum, you don't see a lot of people talking about platinum, but platinum down 18.2% on the day. I wonder why a lot of people haven't been talking about platinum, but down 18.25% on the day. And of course, silver, our biggest percentage mover, biggest monetary and percentage drop in silver in history. You did the math, Coach Paul. What was that? If you shorted it at the high
range, monetary range,
monetary range,
$213,000 high to low.
1 minute. Divide that by 5. Even micros are way too expensive to be trading that today.
We've been talking. Well, suddenly it might be back. It
could be tradable again. Yeah, right.
But yeah, the history, and we'll go into it a little more. But yeah, that $213,000 range, and in the regular COMEX contract.
Yeah.
There's going to be, we don't know that there is an entity that has been obliterated or two.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll come out in the headlines. It'll come out in the headlines.
I see a comment there that the Merck raising margins forced this. I just don't see that.
Yeah.
The margins are raised because the volatility was so large.
Yep.
And this one, it was led by the cash market. So that's something to think about. It wasn't led by like the Hunt brothers where they leveraged with futures and then they got margined out. Actually, was an emergency declaration, force majeure by the COMEX and the Board of Trade, which led to a liquidation only market.
All you can do is sell.
Or if you're long, or buy if you're short. So little different. This one, and who predicted this today? Yeah, that's my prediction. But we'll go into it later. What a day. Gold too.
What a day.
Metals in general.
Metals in general, for sure. To the upside, it was the energies. RBOB, gasoline futures, up 0.75%. Heating oil, up 2.95%. And natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 11.94%. It is supposed to be freezing this week. Again, it's like 2 degrees outside right now. Natural gas, up 11.94%. To talk about our big four, there was not a whole lot of green on the quote board today. We had crude oil up 0.52%. The S&P down 0.41%. Gold, we already mentioned, and it keeps fluctuating. Right now, down 8.75%, and the Nasdaq down 1.34% on the day. We are going to start with the weekly on the Nasdaq. And, these may be pretty quick here, but what are you seeing on this weekly, Coach Paul?
Still holding the trend, actually holding that moving average on the weekly. We're still like every time we look at this weekly on Friday, what do we see? Balance.
Balance, yeah.
There's no spike, and we're just going sideways since October's high. As we talked, it looks very much like gold did last year for what was it, 5 months?
Yeah.
So still solid, but it's lost its momentum, to say the least. Let's watch that moving average on the weekly.
Everybody's probably trying to figure out what to do with their metals positions, and don't have time to trade the equities.
Well, let me put this causes stress in the system. Courtney picked it up. I thought silver margin calls would shake up. Yeah, you'll hear it over the weekend, because they're going to see, first of all, you notice we bounced when we're not in silver yet, but in the metals, we bounced after the 12:30 central close.
Yeah.
Because margins had to be meet. So we'll find out if this is like an explosion, and we'll see who survived and who died. So it can cause contagion to other markets.
For sure.
It's a good point.
For sure. Let's take a look. Daily, the Nasdaq's still in the range. It is a range trade. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this, because it was a range trade the same way it's been for the past 3 months. Here's the Shanghai, not the Shanghai Open, Globex Open here. What's that white line? I actually, Nasdaq's actually, I tried to get short a couple of times. Originally got short 900s. Very similar trade to what we talked about yesterday. Getting short at 26,000s. Today, just stair stepped lower. And it was that same reaction. Look at all these wicks at 900. Held a decent part of it, and then tried to get short again a little later in the day and gave back some of the profits for the day. But if you've gone from trading the metals and you've tried to figure out to trade the metals over the last month or so, Nasdaq's is like the lazy river right now.
Yeah.
It's calm.
Well, actually, that middle point was also the pivot for today.
Just up here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah. But the white line, we never closed above it.
Nope. Started the day right at it.
Wicked it. But actually, you hit something. Nasdaq has been a decent place to trade.
Yeah. For now, I mean, as long as that daily ATR is 350 points, that's reasonable. That's reasonable, right? And some pretty good ranges. There was some chop early on. That first hour and a half was not very directional. A lot of overlap. You can see all these wicks on the 30-minute. Once we started to pick a direction, pretty clean trade there. Go kind of speed run these equities. What is that white line? This is the S&P. Coach Paul, you were scalping it up in the S&P this morning.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we were between the pivot and the VWAP.
Okay.
VWAP, we see from the opening, VWAP really was sideways.
Yeah.
And so with I would sell at 1 ATR away from the pivot, and then buy it back when it hit the VWAP. And then if it broke under, I'd buy it. They didn't all work, but it was a good scalping day. Why was I? And I'm not a scalper, but we were in a range at that point.
Yep.
So why was that? Look at the shape of VWAP. Just
pretty flat.
If you get chopped up, that's why there was no direction.
Not until later in the day.
No. Also, what's that white line at the high?
We t- so Coach Paul, every once in a while, Coach Paul and I will, hop on a call and trade together. And we were talking about it, and it was a short. Right as we were getting off, it was right up at that high. It was how many times do you go to the well? It's like do it until it stops working, and it did it
Yeah.
again. That white line, just line of demarcation there. You will not go higher. Price will not trade higher here. And really nice rejection. Somebody called it the money line. Again, anything we say here is for educational, entertainment purposes only. But hopefully, I'm just curious. Anyone in the chat, a 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart, and the market's reaction with volume for a trade today? Just let us know in the chat. Take a quick look at the Dow. What's that white line? And the Russell, pretty close to it as well. But yeah, equities, kind of the side story. It's on the back burner right now. Still really good trading though, really good trading. And I don't, Coach Paul, with the week that we've had in the metals, especially these last 2 days, I almost feel kind of responsible for bringing the metals into everyone's focus, right? And we've seen, right? Yeah, metals, oh, they're super awesome, right? Everyone's trading at these big percentage moves. It's really cool. More often than not, I think just as fans of markets, it's kind of hard to not pay attention to it, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to trade it. So if you're an equities trader and you see everybody running over, making money in the metals, what you're probably not seeing is the people who are blowing accounts doing it. So if the equities are what you trade and the metals are going to continue to be this extreme volatility, the equities are still providing really great trade opportunities right now. And maybe with the less volatility, you could feel a little more comfortable in your trades.
Well, another part of that is what we've talked about. It's for most accounts, especially in combines, you can't really afford to trade it because you have to be right.
Yeah.
But a reminder that 5,000-ounce silver was designed when silver was trading between $5 and $10.
Yeah.
So now the Merc is coming out with the 100-ounce silver. Like, I can begin to look at it, but
Yeah.
still, it's technically when we review from a technical perspective. So it's great to I watch it.
Yeah.
I watch technicals. I can't afford the ante.
Yeah.
Or I'm not willing to take that risk.
Yep.
So
let's go over to gold.
Begin.
Go over to gold. Here is gold on the daily. Talking about trading well technically. There's that 20 moving average. We talked about this? We talked about this Wednesday and yesterday. It's gotten extended, and there's the pullback. A lot of people are asking questions, Coach Paul, and Mo had a comment. He says, I hear you regarding trading silver and gold today and completely agree, but with such opportunity, can you blame people for trying, especially in a sim account with limited downside? Mo, I don't disagree with you. And I traded gold today. Like I said, I had a really nice day today trading gold in this sim account and was able to take advantage of it. But even then, there was a time in gold today where the volatility was too much. A lot of people see this as opportunity, and I think it's just the way we're built as traders. We only ever look at the opportunity to the upside, especially in a sim account with limited downside. We talked earlier in the week. If it's a combine, maybe okay, right? Maybe I'd be more comfortable giving a pass for the combine. I've seen people lose 50K XFAs and not a 50K XFA with $2,000 drawdown, the entire balance of 50K or the entire balance of 100K in a XFA trying to trade the metals, but not understanding illiquid markets, right? So that's where it would be, we would be doing a disservice to traders to be like, oh yeah, you know what, just go ahead and try it. Especially if you're not understanding things like the velocity logic in the markets. You're not understanding extreme illiquidity. We can come back to silver for a second, right? Everyone's going to want to chase it, but at some point, you know, you have to stop chasing, and you know, that's when we say, hey, maybe it's a good idea to step back. Anything you want to say on that, Coach Paul? Hopefully, I'm explaining myself well, but
it might be fun,
yeah,
and I don't think, but it's a learning lesson.
yeah,
You, if you're serious, it's not professional.
yeah,
I'll say it's, you know, if you're a gambler, you go to a place like poker where you can have some skill.
right,
Playing that game in a combine is like going to the one-armed bandit and watching this wheel spin.
yeah,
And I'm not putting that. I don't. You know, I tried trading it in a practice account last night, the gold,
mm,
and I'm like, this is too wild. I don't. First of all, then it becomes. I'm not. It's hard work for no money.
mm, yeah.
But
With the practice account, you're
use
saying,
use the combine to develop your skill.
yeah,
But and if you do that, go ahead and do it, and you find out, holy shit, I can't afford to trade this. That part, okay, do it, but find out just how trading without a plan or without money management and controlling risk, you'll find out. So that's my comment. Hey,
oh,
we
I'm
lost
on
you.
mute. Yeah, you should be able to hear me
Yeah.
now. I pulled up Quantower because I'm gonna pull up the chart, do a little bit of a deep dive into the volume in silver. Maybe we pull up a footprint chart so we can actually see the prices that were skipped. But let's go to gold. I'll break down a trade that I took last night from a technical perspective, and we talked about this. Most of my profit in gold was made before 9:30 Eastern last night. I didn't catch any of this because the market got extremely illiquid. I said, okay, you know what? I think I'm okay trading it. I think I took one more trade in it. But the trade that I took, we talk about urgency. It's something that was defined. Here is, well, first of all, the white line. We traded down into that white line, and that was actually my target on the shorts. But here's last night's open in gold. And we didn't have any urgency on the 30-minute. Actually, if we go down to a shorter time frame, because this is what I did yesterday. So the first trade I took in gold was a long. What's today's date? 30th. First trade I took was a long because we did have this urgency, and we talked about this yesterday. I took the trade, quick scalp, you know, see profit, take profit trade because we didn't get the follow through. And then I stopped, right? We didn't get immediate follow through on that urgency. I said, okay, I'm going to wait until when do the metals really open, Coach Paul?
Shanghai.
Shanghai session open right here, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Is this not the setup that we talk about almost every day here? And that set the high for the rest of the day.
You know, and we've been talking about this. The Shanghai Open, they haven't been buying it.
No.
I think for the last week. So it was a red flag. So there is some urgency.
Yep.
Now, at that time, were you expecting it to go down $500?
If I said I'm a liar.
Do you look back and go, I wish I would have held it?
Nope, not at all. Maybe a runner.
Why is that, Coach?
Maybe a runner, but a runner would have been nice.
Yeah,
but
a wish.
yeah, but I don't measure for that, right? I can't measure for that. Now can I look technically and say, oh yeah, you know, the 20-day moving average This was a daily ATR in gold, $187. Before today, it was $142. This was more than that. This was about a 4.5 times the daily ATR move. There's no way you can measure for that. You expect that move to happen over the course of a week, maybe. So no, I can't look at this and say, oh man, I should have held it. How do I hold on to trades all day? Um, even if I do, right? And I'll admit I took this trade with a little bit of size. But am I okay with what would have been $130 pullback in the opposite direction before it continued in my favor, and then another $200 pullback? Right? Everyone does the trader math. Oh, I could have sold it here and got out here. You'll never do that. You might have to be in a coma to catch this trade. I'm going to be honest with any kind of size, because at some point between here and here, right around here, you're not gonna be able to sleep. You're gonna wake up, sweating. You can't think straight, right? You biting your nails. There's no way you're gonna sit through that. So yeah, I don't even try to play those games anymore. I used to. There was a time I used to do that all the time, Coach Paul, but
Yeah.
can't do
So
it.
one of the things to review is when you entered that, you had a plan, you had structure, you had risk management, you had your target. You do that consistently, and you can be profitable.
Yeah,
What will happen is your mind will go, I want to catch one of those.
yeah,
Well, this was historic,
yeah,
literally. So you're not going. There's almost you're going to have to live a long time to catch another one of these.
yeah. Can
While you
someone?
hit the gold open,
Yeah,
let's look at the weekly. Watch this thing.
yeah,
Now, why is it's a little different than silver? This is holding last week's low. Now, today's low is extremely important coming into next week,
yeah,
because that would be a blow off top. We're not even having it on the weekly,
yep,
but yeah, I would look at that. Now, that's the biggest range ever.
yeah.
Now, so it has the ingredients for a blow off top. What is this? What was the range? Like 500?
The weekly,
Yeah,
$920.
$920.
That's like, so I think of somebody said it in the chat. The daily move today in gold, dollar wise, was bigger than the entire gold move in the first Trump presidency.
Well, I'll give you this.
That's
That's
nuts.
true.
That's nuts.
In 2000 or 1999, John Major was the prime minister. Well, the government of Great Britain decided to liquidate all their gold holdings.
Mm,
They did that between $250 and $300 an ounce.
mm.
We had half-hour ranges bigger than that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. This is
so.
it's cool to see from a market historian perspective. This is a day that will be talked about 20 years from now. So that's kind of awesome to see.
So look at the daily. We have what an engulfing can. Look, it took out
2 weeks.
6 or 7 days worth of trading. So on the short term, and we were talking about this yesterday, that funky candle. Now I can. We're talking like, what is that? With high volume.
This one,
That's a red flag. That was
yeah,
a red flag.
it was.
So a very at the least, This is liquidation. I don't think this market is short.
Good point. Good point. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things. Liquidation. You just said that, right?
Yep.
We've done this before, but let's take it back to the floor example. Why this happened? There could be a million reasons that it happened, but it did happen, right? Why do we see such a big range on a day like today? Because someone had asked me in the chat telephone.
Sorry.
It's the gold dealer calling, seeing if you want to buy any.
What do you mean we're not short?
Right. Right. Be careful. So someone had asked earlier, right? We were talking about illiquidity in the markets, and they said, well, if you look at the volume is more than the average. So how do you say that's an illiquid market? And I think Coach Paul this is a great time to differentiate between the two, right? And what we do understand, and I want to put a link in the chat to that volume class. I'll find it, but it was the 2-hour volume class we did in
2024, I think.
so it was that one, and then there was another one where okay, I got the link here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put this in. If anyone's interested, in looking at the depth of market and trying to understand that, because one of the things we do understand, there was a lot of frustration this week with my orders aren't filling and things like that, and then people who understand depth of market saying, yeah, your orders are not going to fill. So if you don't understand the depth of market, I would highly suggest looking at this video, and I'm going to find another link as well. Maybe I'll put it in the comments of this video after we close because I have to go find it. But Coach Paul and I did a class on, the depth of market about 3 years ago, and just helping you understand it. A move like this, Coach Paul, illiquid, but we traded, almost double the average volume. How does that work? If it's illiquid, isn't there no volume trading?
Well, okay. It's a really good question. But being illiquid versus the market's still liquid. With these ranges, let's look at that ATR. Let's look at the ATR for the last year on a daily.
Today, right now it's $187. If we go back to a year ago, so January 2025, it was 35.
Pardon me?
35. Okay, so
January.
We'll go to January 30th. We'll go exactly a year. January 30th, the daily ATR was $35. Today it's 187.
All right. Now we're what, we double the price?
Double the price.
Okay.
Are we double the price? January. Yeah, double the price.
Okay, we're in a different price zone. We're in a different market.
Mm.
Market makers or liquidity providers that are on a bid and offer, they can't be the same tightness. It's not 5 bid at 6 anymore. It's 5 bid at 10. Why? Because the price is high and the volatility is high. If you're a dealer, you don't just keep making tight markets.
Yep.
If you do, you're not going to be a dealer anymore. You're going to be bankrupt. Why? Because it's matched on volatility,
right?
Not on bid and offer.
Yeah.
So it starts to bifurcate. That means I'm not buying this unless I've already sold it.
Yeah.
So what happens is that the volatility stretches the bid and offer.
Yeah.
Now I'll be 100 up, but hey, and this is how it works. This is how auction markets work. I'll do it, but hey, instead of a $1 bid and offer, it's now $6-7.
Yeah.
Because whoever's taking to the other side of it's got to have some reason that it can get out of it.
Yep.
The market makers have to be there. If they blow up, they're not there. So what happens is that what appears to be like, I'll use an example. people are familiar with Nasdaq. Well, when 10 years ago, Nasdaq was at what, 5,000? It was a tight bid and offer
Yeah.
for size.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that anymore.
Right.
So in this is where then it's always, and it's a red flag when this is happening. Because if you've experienced before, it's chaos. So some dealers will say, no, that's too rich for me. So the other dealers are like, that are still in it, are like, oh, I'm not going to put up, you want size? I'm going to make it a smaller bid and offer on volume.
Yeah.
So when the proverbial shit hits the fan, this is what happens.
Yep. If you're going to sell something, you need somebody to buy it. And if the buyers put their hands down, where are you going to find them? And maybe they know. And this is why, to me, I love reading volume, because this happened for a reason, right? Yarden in the chat asked, can you say or assume why did this happen? I could make something up, but the buyer who put their hands down knows why they put their hands down. I just have to see them put their hands down and then trade with them. I could make up a million reasons for why this happened. But if the buyers are going to pull their hands away and say, no, I'm not buying anything, then, you know, that tells me enough of the story. And
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
My gut tells me the central bank liquidation. There's going to, you'll find out. They don't.
A year from now.
Secrets. Some central banks went, okay,
maybe
there's some deal coming up. Well, you'll never know. But
right.
That's just, it doesn't just happen. Speculators did not do this.
I mean, over the last couple of days, we've seen Shanghai not buying metals, right?
Right.
And that's where the selling started.
So
very well could be.
And this is how these parabolic moves end. So I want to go back to someone who made a good point here. Alien spiritual awakening.
Okay.
Okay, this might be a liquidation, not an actual short, but that's just for now. It doesn't mean it won't turn into a short. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So now the way these parabolic moves start the trading and failing. They go into that, will mark that candle and fail. That's where shorts will come in. But for shorts to come in, and that's a good point going back to market making, there hasn't been a short. Shorts are done.
Oh yeah, they've been cooked for a long time.
And going back to the last time metals did this was 83 when the Hunt brothers were forced to liquidate their silver. There was and the principles of cornering market. See, when you corner a market, there's a parabolic move, and I've done a lot of study on those. You know, it's a fool's game to corner a market, because at one point you're going to have to get out.
Yep.
And there's no buyers left. You turn them; they've been destroyed. The moment you start offering, it's going down.
Yeah.
And
that's seen in trading places.
Yep. It's literally, that's how it works. And we saw a bit of it. That's why I think there wasn't a hedge fund that said, hey, let's take profit. It has to be an entity. To me, and this is my gut, they didn't call me. I don't know. But for this kind of movement, that's an entity. So
high to low range in silver. We talked about it again. Biggest percentage and monetary drop of all time. 37% high to low range. And bear market territory is 20%. Ended the day down 26%. A $44 move. Coach Paul already did the math. Over $200,000 with a one lot big contract in silver. I don't know the next time we'll see something like this, Coach Paul. A lot of people, of course, you know, you see a move like this, and the question I see in the chat, and again, real quick, Shanghai Open. This is on a 30-minute. Technicals still apply. Technicals still apply. And one of the things we've talked about is, closing the trade when you get a 30-minute candle close above VWAP. It never happened.
Yeah. Never,
Again,
yeah.
I don't want
You
to
just made
convince myself.
$200,000.
Yeah, stay short. 200 grand. Somebody did it. That somebody was not Jay, but from a technical perspective, it would have worked today too. But yeah, are you okay with a $50,000 swing against you with a one lot? Another one, probably not. So, but from a technical perspective, technicals work. Don't let anybody tell you they don't. All right. What were we talking about here? Oh, so people
Okay.
ask now, Coach Paul, a couple of questions. Courtney's asking, is it a coincidence that this happened at the end of the month? Is the options market big enough to push price around? And two, what do we expect Monday?
Okay. Great question. End of the month.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was the end of the month in Asia when Globex opened, right? And then let's go. Yeah, it's a great question. End of the month, more than probably liquidation, and interesting. That's a great point. It happened at the end of the month. It wasn't a bunch of silver dealers who turned it. Wasn't speculators. Like I said, it had to be an entity at the end of the month. So I think that had something to do with it. The other one is, what was the question? Oh, options?
Yeah.
No. You know what happened? I watched the option market today.
Okay.
In the futures, there's very little open interest. And this happened to me one time in a run up in the natural gas. It gets so volatile. There's no one. Dealers are done. They've gotten run over, or they're like, we can't. Don't look at us. It was very so. I don't believe it was an option related. Yeah, I got caught in one of those in the natural gas. It was running up, and I went to get out. And we talk about there was bid and offer was wider than the ocean. It was the point where I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, fuck you. And, I ended up scratching this trade.
Oh, wow. That's a win.
Yeah. And it was a big winner.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is there's no liquidity in the options because it's unheard of. What was the I forgot the volatility level, but it was unheard of. They're not. So I don't believe it's said. And what will happen next week? I'll give you my standard. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when it opens up in the first half an hour and there's some urgency, I think it's going to be a fresh market. In other words, you notice when the time silver stopped going down.
Right after settle.
Right after settle. And it was a really good point. Monthly, the selling stopped. So that's another reason my gut's done. This is liquidation because it was all day until the settlement. So we might hear something next week.
Yeah.
Harrison, your cat went short silver?
Is copper a good metal to trade? I mean, all the metals are seeing extreme volatility right now. I haven't traded copper in a very long time, to be honest. Took a practice trade in it yesterday when it started to break out. All the metals are having volatility. I personally, after this candle in copper, have not really looked at it to trade it much. Any market can be a good market to trade if you have a strategy to trade it and understand risk management. If you are interested in copper, Coach Deanna, she trades it often. You can ask her some questions about it. I don't even want to, make anything up. I haven't traded copper in 8 months. But if you do, there is a micro contract. MHG is that contract. What I could expect next week, Coach Paul, Sunday, like you said, I'm going to trade it with a technical approach, just like I did last night. But what I'm curious to see is the order book. What does it look like? Right? Are we going to see some, that spread? Is it going to be as wide as it has been, or does it tighten up a little bit and actually get tradable again? A lot of people definitely got washed out of that market. If you lost an account trading silver today, don't beat yourself up, or this week, don't beat yourself up over it. Understand that is the likelihood of a potential likelihood of trading extremely volatile markets. Take it for data, and learn from it for the next time. Because this is going to happen somewhere else in your trading career. Maybe not the same way. Again, this is a once in a lifetime type of day. It might be a little while before we get another one of these, but
Well, it's twice in my lifetime.
there you go.
I'm getting old.
There you go. You got two of them under your belt.
When I was first started, but
Yeah.
Going back to that, we talked about that. We don't know when this can happen, and your eyes will pop out when it does.
Yeah.
And that's the pop out of the eyes moment.
Yep. All right. I'm sick of unprecedented times repeating themselves. Yeah, we'll see what happens. What do the equities start to trade again? Any other markets we want to talk about, Coach Paul? Of course, the metals. Big focus. And just from a understanding market perspective. But yeah, go ahead.
Crude oil and natural gas.
Crude oil on the daily. Actually, let's look at the week in crude. Best week we've seen in a long time.
Put a line chart on that. I just know that when we talk, we want to talk about, yeah. Now, where was that? Did we have a nice trend line? Was it on the daily?
We did have a trend line that was going back to.
We went over that and we've been running through.
Yeah, that was this one.
Yeah.
That was this one. Yeah, we've been rallying. Crude, someone said it. Potential market of 2026. It's not fair what the metals are doing right now. The metals are working with PEDs right now, but crude oil for normal markets is looking pretty good.
Here's another thing. I'm glad you brought that in the metals market. And back to Courtney's question, I know there's a lot of people got wiped out, so it's not going to trade at the same. That's why they got a blow off. So my feeling is it's going to be a tougher trade in the metals, where crude is just starting to get going.
It's really nice day today in crude. A really nice week. Above all the moving averages, holding them. Really nice trade again. Crude is back. Crude is back. Dan Trader, you have a good weekend as well. Crude is back. Any other markets? We had currencies moving this week. I see the Japanese yen down a percent. Mexican peso down 1.3. Australian dollar down 1%. Any other markets you want to talk about, Coach Paul?
Natural gas.
Natural gas.
I'm not looking forward to my bill.
Never goes down when prices go down, right?
No, it doesn't.
Just like...
And I've had an argument with People's Gas here in Illinois about that. I literally did. They said, well, it's cash. I go, the cash price has come off 30%. Why am I still paying the same? And I had to stop because it was just some poor person who answered the phone and it was getting paid an hourly wage. But yeah, it doesn't. That's an actual fact. But look at that. There's another rocket ship.
Yep.
And let's look at today's action.
Would you say money is being rotated into oil? Maybe.
Yeah. I think it's more as cold for the natural gas.
Yeah.
The weather. This is insane weather.
Yeah.
We're living in an insane time. Who made that comment? Yeah, I'm a little sick of the
Yeah.
unprecedented, right?
Right.
So
We
let's
ignore
look
the
at
overnight.
natural gas. We don't look at it in Asia. We'll look at it at 7 o'clock Central.
Technicals work. Or I shouldn't say
White
work.
line.
White line. We got to make that bigger. Hold on a second. Most important one. There you go.
All right. You talk about urgency. So,
Yeah.
now, and I'm not being. It was in rotation out of metals into energies. They're independent of each other, but we saw non-random movement out of both of them. We had urgency and continuation.
Yeah.
Now, there's a classic. And never closed. Did it? Oh, in the half hour, never closed below VWAP.
Below VWAP? No, it didn't. Right here it did.
And then it, right, we
Buy it
started again. So, natural gas. It was a great. I mean, that's almost a vertical move. I was too busy doing other things to catch that.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I think that's. I want to take one quick look, just real quick look at micro Bitcoin on the weekly. It did not have a good week. Here it is on the daily. Yeah, I think it did just roll over as well. We had a J trade candle that we were looking at from November 21st. We tested below that candle for the first time since it printed today. Closed inside of it, but micro Bitcoin took a hit this week. So we will we'll see how that develops, continues to develop. I'm a hodler for now. I bought some Bitcoin this week. What a week to buy Bitcoin, right? When it's getting his ass kicked. But I think, laser eyes, we just hodl, buy more. Maybe I'll buy some MicroStrategy also. But definitely took a hit. Anything you want to say on micro Bitcoin, Coach, or you want to get us out of here?
Yeah, watch any day that we close underneath that J trade.
Oh yeah, we're in trouble.
I mean, as an asset, I can my most positive thing I can say through this chaos in the since October. It's been steady.
Yeah.
But on that daily, we closed below that J trade, and this is the history of Bitcoin. You could see a huge rundown. Where some entities, and it just goes back to the comment earlier, with blowouts in the metals, it affects funds and institutions. You start getting someone wanted to explain contagion again.
Yeah.
Well, now if you've been long and you want to stay in the metals, and if you're a hedge fund or a large institution, you got to raise some cash. So what happens? You start liquidating other. You need to come up with margin, or I need to come up with cash. You start liquidating other positions. And if enough are in there, you'll start seeing this next week. Then the news will come out.
Yep.
In other words, in a portfolio, well, Bitcoin has not performed, and we need cash. Get out of the Bitcoin.
Yeah. I got one more question for you, Coach Paul, and I was saving this for the end just because it might be a stream ender here. You could just say you yes or no. Yes or no question. All right, and then we're gonna wrap. Actually, before we do that, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, get some rest this weekend. Okay. You did well this week. Review why you did well. If you did poorly, review, understand where you went wrong. If you weren't managing your account, you were just trying to understand that, journaling and review, and then just relax over the weekend, because it's probably going to be another crazy week next week. So
Agreed. Agreed. Uh, what I'll say, and Coach Paul says it all the time, have a plan, trade your plan. Even in extreme volatility, right? We saw technicals that we apply, and this is what I want to do as a trader. If I shorted the metals today and made a bunch of money, but I don't know why it worked, that's the scariest place to be in, because then when I try to repeat it, I don't know how I did it. So have a technical approach to these markets. Whatever it is, you don't have to use our strategy. Apply that strategy. I posted that video in the chat. I'll post it one more time if you want to review how to trade with the depth of market. I'll also put the class that Coach Paul and I did. If I find that link, I'll put it in the comments on this video so you can go check that out as well. If you want to understand trading the depth of the market, if you don't use it, again, with that crazy volatility that we saw. So have a great weekend, everybody. Do something fun. If it's cold, stay inside, be warm. That's what I'm going to do this weekend. But here's my last question for you, Coach Balgay. Yes or no question. Let me get the outro ready to go. Is it a coincidence that he saw the headline that Citadel was getting into the metal markets this week?
no.
We'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
All right.